What can kill you but you are doing it every day? Driving is one of the most dangerous ways to travel. You can do everything right and it still won't matter. Drunk drivers, falling asleep at the wheel, texting and driving, distracted driving, not paying attention, and speeding, to just name a few. None of these have to be you. Sitting too much. I need to walk more. But Therese, nowhere to go. You don't need to go somewhere, just walk towards any direction that looks nice and just watch the scenery. You will forget you are walking. But seriously, invest in good shoes for walking. I started doing 5 miles every weekday and I tried to get by with a couple cheap pairs or even random Costco finds and they just don't cut it. I ended up with aches and pains. Finally decided to stop being my frugal self and got a legit pair, and the aches and pains are gone and the benefit I get from my morning walks is enormous. Alcohol, alcohol, and more alcohol. I hear you. For me, it's drugs. 13 days sober today. Not a huge amount, but small steps are better than none, I suppose. Edit, guys. Thank you so much for the supportive messages. I woke up to them and it made me cry. They mean a lot, they really do. I appreciate all of you. Here's to the next 13 days. Edit 2, to all of you lovely people, just wanted to say it's day 18 today. It's also my birthday tomorrow and it's going to be the first sober one in a while. Thank you all again. Your words of love, support, kindness and encouragement really do mean so much. Doesn't have to be a big amount, my friend. 13 days is a huge number, I think. And honestly, I think you deserve some love for that. Stairs. A shocking number of people die from falling downstairs every year. Stress. Riding my bike like an idiot. I noticed one of these days that I just can't ride it like a normal person too. I can ride my bike with no handlebars. No handlebars? Driving. I randomly developed high driving anxiety out of nowhere because I know no matter how great of a driver I am, Therese, always someone on the road that's way worse. My anxiety is as a passenger. If I'm driving, at least I had a minimal amount of control over death. Yeah, being in the passenger seat with nothing to distract me is anxiety inducing. I always fake break. Getting out of bed. I know, best to stay put just in case. Sorry boss, the ground seemed a little dangerous and a potentially lethal hazard, so I made the responsible choice and did not get out of bed, as to keep myself safe. You're gonna call the boss? I don't know, seems kinda dangerous. Best to just hide under the covers. I'm an electrician, so pretty much that. Showering. The bathtub and floor can be very slippery. Tons of people fall and kill themselves by hitting their heads really hard. I have a friend who fell in the shower and knocked himself out. His body blocked the drain and he ended up basically drowning in the tub. I'm not sure he would have lived if not for the drowning though. I guess it was a pretty bad head injury anyway. Crazy stuff. He was in his late 30s. I keep the last message he wrote me and read it occasionally and feel guilty for not responding. We'd had a falling out over somebody stupid and the last thing he said to me was basically extending the olive branch, but I was too stubborn to reach back. That's real rough. Talking to my crazy ex. Talking to this guy's crazy ex. Driving. I drive for a living and I cannot believe the stupid ducking shit people will do on a freeway. It's insane and honestly it's almost killed my sympathy for people who get into car accidents, cause I can't help but wonder if the person involved was doing something dumb. The only thing that lets me hang on to it is knowing that even if that were true there could have been other people driving safely that were hurt as well. Stop driving like fucking idiots, people. It's not just your life you are putting in danger. Taking insulin. I'm a type 1 diabetic. Sometimes I run out of insulin before my insurance will cover my next box. So I buy cheap Walmart insulin. Some of this stuff is not safe. It has a small chance to not be absorbed and become highly poisonous. The name of this phenomenon is dead in bed syndrome. Edit, just wanna say I really appreciate all the support that you guys are giving. I didn't expect my sob story to get so much attention and sympathy. It means a lot. Eating, there is always the chance you could choke to death. Statistically speaking, not eating has a much higher mortality rate. Build a man a fire, and he'll be warm for a day. Set a man on fire, and he'll be warm for the rest of his life. Edit, quote by Terry Pratchett. Crossing the streets at a crossroads with the possibility of cars coming full speed at a red light. The road is like elementary school. You could be the most obedient person and still get punished for someone else's behavior. Mrs. Ellen, I still think you were a bitch for punishing me for yelling at another kid to shut up after he kept asking me for duct tape despite telling him quietly and politely to stop multiple times, but you did not hear that, did you? You prick. Yeah, FCK you, Mrs. Ellen. Consuming ungodly amounts of caffeine daily. Your kidneys weight more than the sun. Drinking. Cooking after drinking fire is no joke. 10 years ago, a good friend of mine died to fire after drinking. Living, you're guaranteed to die if you live. Sexually transmitted terminal illness. Smoking. Nearly 3 years clean of smoking after randomly not getting the urge anymore. Gained a lot of weight, but at least I'm not smoking. Right? Right? Edit. Turns out 2018 is further away than I remember. 3 years, not 2. Yes. Well done. Taking a shit. You can have an aneurysm on a toilet, you never know. I'd probably get an aneurysm and die right after I win the lottery. Being a nurse, God, how I wish I was joking. Can relate. Had to leave the profession. Still in healthcare, just not working directly with patients anymore. Also, I made this decision pre-COVID. Dude, I left bedside nursing a week ago for administrative role. Couldn't take it anymore. I remember my first day, it was so weird, like, I can go home when my shift ends? Are you sure? I got so used to charting, incident reports and surprise double shifts. Drinking, you know that moment when you throw up blood and realize you're not supposed to drink an 18-pack a day. Yeah man, you should cut that shit out. I was up to a 12 a day after work just watching movies and shit. It's hard at first, but your life will get way better. May need to cut some people out, but one day you won't miss M. Drugs. What drugs? Working at a stressful workplace. Literally anything at all. Eating, risk choking. Drinking, risk choking. Taking a shit, risk shitting your intestines out. Sleeping, risk never waking up. The whole human existence is death wheel. Living. Instructions unclear, now I have depression. Existential crisis inbound. To the liquor cabinet. Forcefully surviving my mental health. Like, I've been so burned out, I have autism, so I tend to bottle up emotions, and work 40+ hours a week, while 9K in debt, with 3 collectors after me, all while still going to school, while my grandpa is close to death. Edit. Thanks for the encouragement. I had a few extra details that I forgot to add. 1. I haven't had a mental breakdown in years. For people with autism, a mental breakdown is normal when the environment is too much, so bottling it up is actually a lot worse. 2. I've been going on this burnout stage for about 6 years. I have regular episodes of depression, to extreme joy, to just hating everything. I'm not bipolar, either, so I can't keep my mind in check, since I normally keep myself in check on tasks. 3. I absolutely fear losing my job, constantly, despite having a solid position in the company, so that is why the 9K is a huge factor. The debt collectors only require 1,300, which I'm constantly afraid of being sued, too soon. I scrolled this far to see who may go unnoticed. Wanted you to know that I noticed and am hoping you make it. I'm rooting for you. Breathing polluted air. Every single day I'm shorter of breath, and one day closer to death. Every year is getting shorter, never seem to find half the time. Not socializing. How so? Asking for myself, as I'm very introverted. Every day I have to walk into my safety hazard of a freezer at work. One of these days I will slip and fall and break something. It's so ducking badly organized, and the floor is always covered in crunched ice from bags and bags of ice we sell in the aisles. Which then gets stuck in the bottom of my slip-resistant shoes, which means my feet become coated in enough ice to create my own DIY ice skates, which means all it takes is one careless step while holding a box and I'm toast. I have complained to everyone higher up than me about it. Best response I got: some anti-ice salt tossed in general area. Call the appropriate OSHA type department for your industry. Be the hero whistleblower. The life you save might not only be your own.